Hello and welcome to the God Talk Guys on Cambridge Community Access Television. Each week at this time we tune in.
We do. We're telling the audience what to do. You tune in.
Tune in. Tune in. Tune in.
Wow.
My name is Michael Mack. This is Mike. Michael Koran, my good friend, and we're here to talk about God, matters of God and faith and religion and spirit and health.
Help.
Help, yes. Help.
We need help.
Help.
Why do you think we're in this?
That's exactly why we're in this. We can't.
We need help.
We need help.
We
Can't
need
do it
help.
alone.
Help. I mean, we're going to find out the real help I need now. Out.
Well, my beloved friend here has a health update.
Yes. Ouch.
Speaking of help and speaking of health, a health update.
Yes.
You may have noticed, ladies and gentlemen, that he was wearing a pair of
I
glasses.
can
Which
put them on, yes.
oh,
Yes.
now these are very special glasses. These are glasses that he was prescribed about a month and a half ago, and he wears them because one of his eyes refuses to point forward.
No,
Is that
it's
right?
amazing what happens, even with close friends.
Okay.
Each of my eyes by themselves are fine,
Okay.
but they do not work together.
Okay.
So I was seeing double for a long time. Now I don't see double so much anymore, but things are not, it's really hard to describe.
Well, then I don't quite understand, because when I look through these,
Yes.
okay, what I see is this. That's what I'm seeing.
Not me.
They look cross. I know,
Yeah.
because
So what this is it's just a prism. It's a prism for my eyes, but these are little prisms, and somehow they discovered that stops people from seeing double.
well, there's a particular reason why you're seeing double. And before we go any farther, we should say what we are hoping this segment of the God Talk Guys to be and to be about. And it's to be about healing and to be about help, because Michael has a health issue that's quite significant, and he's been sharing the latest with us over the last few weeks from time to time. And the cause of his vision problem is cancerous. Is that correct?
They don't know. They don't
know.
They know it's a big growth. I mean,
2-inch
we're talking
growth.
Big, 2 inches on each side.
Shaped like an L.
This is a big guy.
And so you explained to me just a little while ago that the L is shaped, so it's like goes like this, and then it goes like this.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
And it's right in the center of my head.
It's in sinus cavity.
Really,
Is that right?
if you drew a plumb line between my ears and here, it would be right in
No
the middle.
kidding. No kidding.
Not so easy to get to.
And so it's pushing your eyeball or optic nerve, or it's pressing against
one of the nerves, the nerve that coordinates the two eyes, because our eyes have different vision,
Right.
and usually they've learned to work together.
They work together.
I,
Like you and me.
Yes, I am not working as well together as I do with my buddy Michael. And that could be like intuition, right and left, right and left brain, the whole thing.
So we're gonna try a healing tonight. We're gonna do a healing as this segment of the God Talk Guys.
And I need it because unfortunately it's getting less good.
So what happened was, so the latest, and jump in at any time, please, since this is your your issue.
On my show.
Your show. So the latest was like, was it a week and a half ago?
Yes.
Results of the MRI showed that it had not increased in size.
Yes.
It seemed to be stabilized in size. So that was good news. And you went to your doctor and you said that you didn't want to do the biopsy/procedure that they were hoping for.
Almost.
And what would he think about that?
No, I didn't put it that way.
Okay.
I said, is this really necessary?
Is it necessary to do the biopsy and procedure?
This wonderful surgeon, I can give you his name because he's so good, Ian Dunn, Brigham and Women.
Okay.
And I'm saying to him, because we're all prepared to do this.
Yeah, you were ready. You were ready to go last Friday.
Yes, last Friday before this.
Friday before.
Ready to go, alas. Wednesday morning, 8 in the morning.
You made out your will.
Yeah, I did actually. Yes, you're in it.
I know. I get a pittance. You told me he's going to give me a pittance.
You actually, I changed it. You're going to get more.
Oh, really?
So you,
what did I do to deserve that?
You're going to get more than the pittance, my friends. It might be a good thing if I go. There'll be some sorrow and lots of rejoicing. As Machiavelli said, most people are more interested in the inheritance than in the father. Anyway, I'm sitting with this wonderful man, Dr. Dunn, 8 in the morning with Michelle in the room.
Michelle, your dear friend.
My beyond significant other.
Okay.
And
that's worthy of an explanation another time.
Yes. And we talk all about it, and I say, is this really necessary? And he says, not really.
Is this biopsy and procedure in which they would go in, they would drill in, presumably?
They would go in and take out as much as they can.
And how would they get in?
They go through my nose.
Through the nose. And would there be drilling involved?
I don't think this time, but maybe. I think there's a lot of space there.
Yeah.
But they can't get it all because it's shaped.
Oh, right.
Right.
They don't have a tool that.
And they don't know.
like
it might be lymphoma. And he winced. Because surgery can take out these other guys. Lymphoma is, judging from his expression, is not his expression. I said, I don't really want to have that, do I? He said, no, you don't. Because that involves chemotherapy, which I might not choose to do, actually. And just...
One step at a time.
Yes, one step at a time. So I say, is this really necessary? And he says, no, you could, it hasn't grown. We can wait another month and look again.
So when was the last time that there was an MRI that they could judge it against? Was
January 3rd and March 2nd with the 2 MRIs.
Okay, so 2-month difference.
Yeah.
Hadn't grown in 2 months.
And so
that was good news.
And then I asked him, you might be interested in this.
Because I haven't heard this yet?
Maybe you have, probably, but fortunately you don't remember. Maybe, if I'm lucky.
Well,
never mind, ignore that.
Okay.
Blot that out of the show. Let's edit that out.
All right.
So I said, could it get smaller or go away?
Oh, yeah.
And he says...
That would be, I can tell you what he said.
Yes.
That would be a reportable event.
No, close.
A reportable...
Close. You need a word before reportable.
A significant reportable?
Close.
No,
it's not that big a word. A little word. 4-letter word.
But it modifies reportable?
In medical language, not ordinary speech.
Okay, I give up.
Case reportable.
Case reportable.
Yes,
Thank you.
yes.
Case reportable.
That's
very
nice.
good.
So I am praying for a case reportable. And I like it better than the word miracle. It's somehow very nice.
Yeah.
Something to report. It seems more manageable.
Right.
So I'm counting on my dear friend Michael Mack, who prays every morning and night too. Is that true?
And throughout the day.
Yes, mine. To pray. I haven't been successful. I have had the wonderful alternative healings. It's been so much fun.
You've had friends doing energy healing?
Shamanic healing. Yeah. My friend Anthony making sounds, with the hands on, and almost like psychic surgery, pulling it out. I've had my friend Tracy Marks. We've had a conversation, the growth and I, with my dear therapist. She had me to feel light and love throughout my whole body, and that really helped just feel like we were just in loving communion with, what would we call it? What would my friend formerly known as the growth, because I thought maybe it had left. So this was all,
and that's And did you come up with a name for that friend who is occupying an apartment in your skull?
Yes, well, I don't know if he is anymore. That's why I called him formerly known as the growth.
Okay.
Because maybe I call him the growth.
Okay, just the growth.
Yes, or maybe...
I thought you said that his name was George.
It could have been George the growth. Yes,
okay.
I haven't used that much.
George,
but we could call him George.
Okay.
George. I like calling him the growth somehow.
Somehow George, when I think of George, I think of Seinfeld.
Yes, no, I don't. I'm not a Seinfeld fan. So, the growth. I like
Okay.
Let's more scientific. It's the growth.
Okay.
They call it. You know what they call it?
What do they
It's a
call it?
funny word, lesion,
Lesion.
which you think would be a cut.
Yeah, a
But
cut
they
and
call-
a scar or something.
Yes,
like
they
that?
call it the lesion. It's
Lesion.
strange how that happens.
A lesion on the brain.
A lesion in the skull, I think.
Okay.
So, but the growth is good enough for us.
Okay.
So we're now going to.
So when you say the growth, there's no judgment on the growth.
No, I love the growth. The growth has taught me. I would do it again. I hate to say this, but it has taught me so much about what I needed to learn.
Well, here's a question that I'm not going to ask.
Yes.
If you would do it again,
Yes.
If you would do it again, would you? How about if you just do it more now?
Have more growth?
Yes.
I've had enough growth. 2 inches is not enough for you. He's hard to believe. He really is. He does this to himself too.
I do.
2 inches on each. It's not just 2 inches. It's 2 inches on each side. It's not,
That's like 4 inches.
That's my whole head.
There's not much room left up there for brains, man.
And my speech is getting. I can feel a little slow.
Well, that's the thing that concerns me a little bit, because this is the latest update that he gave to me a little while ago before we got together for the show. And,
yes, and I'm afraid I might not be able to read soon, even with these. So it looks.
So
like
when's the MRI scheduled? The next one,
April 2nd.
April 2nd. So that will tell.
Well, it could be the symptoms will, even if it's not growing. I mean, I unfortunately will have to do with that. I have so much trust in Dr. Dunn now. I asked Dr. Dunn Wednesday before this, well, I like you so much, do you think that's a good idea to show up for surgery in 2 days? He said, no, that's not a good idea. But we're
a team.
Pretty good for people who've only met twice. We're doing pretty well. That was very nice of him to. I mean, I had everything set up. 4-hour operation, ICU, 3-day hospital room, all set up. And he said, no, you don't have to. That was very nice. Okay.
Wow.
But now that's the coming attractions to the next only 13 minutes or so, 15 really. Michael Mack, who is the best praying person I've ever met, is now going to.
I can't start like that.
Whatever comes to him.
I'm just a guy who prays.
Okay. Fine. I'm in your hands and words and spirit.
So, if I could just say a couple of words about what we're going to do right now, and invite all of you who are watching, wherever you're watching, whether you're watching in Cambridge, where this is being filmed live right now, or if you're watching on the web at some future point.
Or live stream now. My friend
Or live
Columbia
stream now,
in
yes.
Virginia. Yes.
Yes. So, however, whenever and wherever, because in God world, there is no distance in time or space, it's all one. So, we invite you right now to join us in this prayer, in this invitation to healing in whatever form it takes, in whatever way it might present itself, to come into Michael's being, come into Michael's presence, come in specifically into Michael's skull, and bless and love this growth, which we are calling George. Bless and love it, and open the door to allow it to go out. So we can't do this alone, which is why we're asking you, inviting you to join us in this little prayer, with a promise that in the weeks that come, we will share updates on the process so that you can join us, join Michael in his journey of healing. And so what I think I'd like to do is to invite you to do what Michael is doing now, to close your eyes, and I will also I will close my eyes from time to time and ask God, in whatever way God might present himself or herself in this moment, in this space, in this presence, into Michael's mind and heart and body and breath and being, so that all goodness, all healing, and all possibility are living, breathing within him now. And you can imagine with me and imagine with us this little L-shaped George inside of Michael's head right now. Imagine it being surrounded by the most vital, living breath. And if you like the expression, the breath of God, or the breath of the Holy Spirit, or if you prefer another expression, we welcome it. There's a place now in Michael's head, this place of previous ailment. If you can imagine it shrinking in size, if we can imagine it shrinking in size, it will oblige, because love is irresistible. Perfect love, as St. Paul said, drives out fear. And so we invite perfect love, or beyond perfect love, into Michael's being now. Because all things are possible in the presence of perfect love. All things are possible beyond perfect love. The world came into the being, we understand, through love, through creation. And the ways that we are created in the image and likeness of God is as creators. We are creating too. And we now, here in this place, in this time, are creating in Michael's head, in Michael's being, an exit ramp for our friend George, so that we can send him happily on his way into the kingdom of God, into the infinite kingdom of love, leaving this great, wondrous expanse inside Michael's head, inside Michael's brain, inside Michael's being. This wondrous expanse that at one time was 2 inches in length, an L-shaped, 2 inches on each side. If you can imagine now this expanse, this open space. Imagine that space filled with this scintillating breath, this life force.
This is in my sinus, so I can breathe in this breath.
You can breathe in. You can breathe into that space.
Whoa.
And if all of us right now take a breath, we can join Michael in this breathing exercise. In fact, all of us who are watching right now, myself included, we could take a breath, a nice, deep, satisfying breath, and as we breathe it out, breathe it into this space in Michael's sinus. And here is the thing about healing. Healing is shared. And if there is a place in your life, as you are breathing this life's breath into Michael's sinus, if you can think of a place in your life that needs healing, a place where you feel distress or discomfort, a place where you ask for guidance, need help, you can breathe your breath there too. It is all one healing. So let's take another deep breath and breathe it into Michael's sinus at the same time that we breathe into whatever distress or discomfort may be troubling you in your life or in your body. Breathe deep. All things are possible. And if we prepare ourselves for the entry of the healing spirit, of the good spirit that is inside us, around us always, if we make for it a welcome place, in the same way that inside Michael's sinus is now this welcome, empty space for healing and breathing, a wind, a cleansing wind, driving through this space, clearing and cleaning. You can imagine 1,000,000 tiny little scrub brushes passing through not only Michael's sinus, but through whatever part of your body or your life you might be experiencing distress in now. Oh, another deep breath. Take in another big one. A wondrous cleansing wind. And let's take a moment now, having imagined this beautiful space, this beautiful expanse, this wondrous opening, and this wondrous breeze passing through it, both for Michael and for you. Let's take a moment just to breathe gently now. Breathing into that space in Michael's cavity, sinus cavity, and into that place in your own life where you are welcoming in healing. Just breathing gently, allowing the breath to come in and go out gently, with the same kind of loving gentleness of which we are all deserving. That our truest, deepest self is always and forever deserving and welcoming of healing and release.
Thank you, Michael.
To be continued.
Thank you. Well, we still have 3 minutes.
We have 3 minutes. And in the weeks to come, we will keep all of you informed about Michael's progress. And in fact, if you feel at some point, if you feel that somehow through this process you have been touched by healing in some way, we invite you to call in. This show is over in about 2.5 minutes, but at some point in the future, or even
Well, there's a Caring Bridge site. If you go to caringbridge.org, I believe, and use my name, Michael Koran,
so caringbridge.org.
and then just search for Michael Koran, Koran, you can leave a comment
Okay,
and read other comments.
okay. But we'll also keep you guys updated, you who are CCTV regulars,
Aficionados, yes.
aficionados,
Yes, whatever that means, yes.
aficionado.
Oh, yes. That was very nice, Michael. Like I didn't realize that every breath can be healing, especially, you know, in general it can, but very specifically. If I have something in my sinus.
Yes, yes. You can actually imagine the breath touching,
Yes.
reaching back and touching that space where
Yes.
George
Wow.
was living.
My.
He has exited now, and
I have this very puzzling experience of being really believing and hearing that I'm well.
this was a few weeks ago.
And it still keeps happening.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to translate that and tell my psyche, you don't know. You just have to say, we would like you to be well. But its initial language is very God language, telling me. And I think it's much more powerful, instead of saying you are well, to say we'd love you to be well, we'd like you to be well, we hope you, much more
I wonder
vulnerable.
if the way forward would simply be to acknowledge that voice.
I have, yes, and
Yeah,
and
because you know what? It might, in the end, be true.
no, but it says you're well now. It says you see now clearly. It's really counterfactual.
Well, we have 15 seconds to close up.
I think it's teaching me to translate. My inner voice has to learn to really be more vulnerable and not speak like a commander and say, we would like you to be well.
Thank you for joining us. That's the God Talk, guys.
Wow, thank you,
See you
Michael.
in 3 minutes if you stick around.
Wow, what a good show that was.
Was it pretty good?
Yes. So this one I'd love to put up for my own healing.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
sure.
Now we're going to stop this properly. It stopped.